Good morning, everyone. We've got a couple of special guests. Kyler and Cade are here from the Boy Scouts. They're going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance today.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you for that. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the June 2nd meeting of the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. I am Aaron Mays, representing District 3, serving as the chair this year. On my left is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1, and on my right is Commissioner Kevin Cook, representing District 2. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Madam Clerk, first item, please.
First item is item 3, consent agenda.
I would move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business. A, County Clerk, number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Okay, under Public Works, Bettis Asphalt Construction Incorporated, $276,483.40. It's for mill and overlay. This is for South Topeka Boulevard, north of Airport Drive to south of Gary Ormsby Drive. Under Solid Waste Recycling, LGC Operations, $211,589 is for side loader trash truck. Our total vouchers as of April 1st is $3,890,083.61. If there's no questions or comments, I'll move for approval of the vouchers.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval of correction orders.
Second.
So motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B, Human Resources, number 1, Insurance Committee recommendations and presentation from Willis Towers Watson.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis with Human Resources. Today I'm coming on behalf of the Insurance Committee. We have recommendations from the committee to have no increase to the existing benefits plan cost for the employees or the departments. We want to implement a high deductible health care plan and health savings plan, and we have Willis Towers Watson, our consultants. We have Denise and Alex who will make a presentation shortly. And we'd also like to implement a health savings plan known as an HSA. There's also a change to the coverage for 26 visits per year for the chiropractor at $30 copay. I'll let Denise give her presentation on the high deductible plan and the HSA, and then we'll be happy to answer any questions you might have. Go ahead, Denise.
Good morning, and thank you very much for spending some time with us this morning. My name is Denise Mills. I am a director in the Health and Benefits Division of Willis Towers Watson. My office is in Overland Park, Kansas, and I am the lead consultant to Shawnee County. I'm going to walk you briefly today through an HSA presentation. And I want us to start off on the next page by telling you why we believe Shawnee County should consider offering this kind of plan. I'm not going to read every bullet, but the majority of employers do offer at least one HSA plan. It helps to lower benefit costs. It's very popular, not only with millennials and all the generations. They act like a medical IRA, so it's a medical IRA in disguise. The difference is it's triple tax advantage. So, and we'll get into that as we go forward. I won't spend a lot of time on this slide other than to say one of our recommendations is that if you move forward with offering this plan, we would suggest that you do an upfront seeding, which means the Shawnee County would contribute into an employee's account that signs up for this particular plan. 74% of employers do seeding, and if you can see at the bottom, we're suggesting, and that this is the benchmark, that the annual seeding would be $500 for an individual or $1,000 for a family. The reason we're suggesting that you do this upfront is first year only. We're trying to encourage people to participate, and if there's no money in their accounts, they might be less likely to consider adopting this kind of a plan. So what is an HSA? It's an account that individuals can use to pay for qualified medical expenses. It has to be established in conjunction with a qualified high deductible health plan, and we will talk about that on the next slide. The key to this is that the employee owns the account. It's non-forfeitable. It does not belong to the employer. The employer cannot dictate what a person spends their money on. So that, the day it's set up, the day that if Shawnee County does seed it up front, that is their money. As we said, it's triple tax advantage, meaning that people can put money into it on a pre-tax basis. The funds within that bank account grow tax-free. And as long as I withdraw funds and to pay for qualified expenses, those funds are tax-free as well. So this slide is just going to kind of show you the proposed plan outline. So you can see the current plan is in the center and the proposed qualified high deductible health plan is to the right. So basically it's a $3,000 deductible for a single, $6,000 for a family, 80-20 co-insurance. You can see, the out-of-pocket. Just like your PPO plan, the ACA preventive care services are covered at 100%. So no deductible, no co-insurance, no co-pays. Unlike the PPO, you can see for an office visit copay, there is not one under this proposed plan. People would have to meet their deductible first, then their co-insurance, and that would roll up into their out-of-pocket. Retail drugs, again, people are used to having co-payments. Under the qualified high deductible health plan, they would meet their deductible, then co-insurance, but the ACA law does allow us to put preventive prescription drugs with co-pays, no deductible. And believe it or not, there are hundreds of these preventive drugs. So let's say someone has high cholesterol and they're taking a statin, that is considered preventive. And so our recommendation is that you would use those drugs, either generic or the formulary brand, at the same co-pays as the PPO. Alex? So how does this work? First thing is Shawnee County needs to select an administrator to set up the bank account, and then each individual that decides to take this plan would establish their own personal bank account. They can contribute money into the HSA through payroll deductions, or they could even just make a transfer from their bank account into this HSA plan. People can start, stop, change contributions at will. This is not tied to a qualifying event like, say, a flex plan is. That said, you can't the day before payroll decide you want to contribute or not, so we would establish some parameters around those types of changes. If a person wants to put the full amount into an HSA for the year, then they would have to be under that qualified high deductible health plan for 12 full months. So let's say you hire a new person, it would be on a pro rata basis. Again, individuals can use those dollars to pay for their deductible, qualified medical expenses, dental or vision services. And again, as we've said, once the deductible's met, the plan pays accordingly, except for preventive services, and those are paid at 100%. So who's eligible for an HSA? Anyone that picks that qualified high deductible health plan. They cannot be enrolled in Medicare, TRICARE, VHA. They can't be covered under their spouse or someone else's health insurance or under someone else's flexible spending account. And they cannot be claimed as another person's dependent on someone else's tax return. So, as I said, there are limits to how much people can put into the account, and the IRS sets a limit every year. The limits that are shown below are total funds that can be contributed. So it would be a combination of what Shawnee County would put in, plus what that individual might want to put in. And, can you go back 1 minute? Alex, thank you. So again, these could be put in through payroll deductions, all sources, and you can see the 2023 contribution limits of $38.50 for single, $77.50 for family, and for those that are 55 or older, they can make an additional catch-up contribution of $1,000 to either one of those plans. Distributions, as I said, are tax-free if they're taken for qualified expenses. If somebody wants to use it for non-qualified, they want to go buy a big screen TV, they could do that, because remember, it's their money, they can do what they want, but that money will not only be taxable, it will also be subject to a 20% tax penalty. HSA funds can only be used for expenses that are incurred on or after the date the HSA was established. However, some people just, hold on to their receipts, and they can do that. They can pay, take money out for prior year's expenses as long as, again, they were incurred after that HSA was established. One really nice feature for distributions is that the qualified medical expenses are not only for the account holder, but the spouse or the dependents, even if they're not covered under that qualified high deductible health plan. So what happens when I'm 65? We talked about if I'm covered under Medicare, I can't be putting money into the HSA. But if I've done this over the years, I can use a distribution. I can buy that big screen TV if I want to with my money without the 20% penalty, but I would have to pay income tax if it's a non-medical distribution. And that doesn't matter whether I'm enrolled in Medicare or not. Next page, just going to talk a little bit about record keeping. Unlike a flexible spending account, I don't have to turn in a receipt to the bank in order to get my money. It's kind of the honor roll. I need to keep my receipts though, because if I am ever audited and I don't have a receipt, then I will probably end up paying taxes and penalties. Next page is just an example of eligible and ineligible expenses. And at the bottom, there's a link if you wanted to go out and look at everything. But it's pretty much mirrors what a flexible spending account would look like. So again, happy to answer questions. Appreciate your time.
Questions?
I don't have any.
No. Angela, is this something that you're wanting us to approve today, or is this just
Yes, we would
informative?
need approval in order to be able to move forward with Willis and put plans in place. The HSA and the qualified health plan would not go into effect until January of 2021, but it will take us up until October to get everything ready for annual enrollment.
23, right?
2023, yes.
Okay. All right. Any other questions?
Angela, the cost for us seating this is going to be fairly substantial if we're talking about $500 per person who would start. Is this going to be built into, which budget will this come out of for the 2023 budget?
I believe this would come out of the insurance fund. I was looking towards Betty. Yes, the health insurance fund.
Now, those costs should be offset by premium savings though, right?
They should be, and we're anticipating that about 10% of our employees would move over to the high deductible plan.
That's good. I appreciate offering more options. So, some people like it, some people won't, so at least they can choose. So I'll go ahead and make a motion that we approve this. Well, it's not really approval, is it? Or,
I believe it is,
yeah,
Jim?
okay.
It's approving the insurance committee recommendations.
Yeah.
Yes.
Accepting the recommendations. Okay, I'll make that motion.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Angela.
Denise and Alex.
Thank you for being on there. Next
Thank
item.
you all.
All right, next item, please.
Item B2, consider approval of resolution number 2022-37, adopting an amendment to the Shawnee County Human Resources Policy Manual to address jury and witness pay received by county employees.
I was really anticipating John's presentation on jury pay.
I left too soon. I have more work to do. The resolution you have in front of you is to change the county policy for the jury duty policy. Moving forward, if you accept the recommendation, we would like for our employees to be able to keep their jury duty pay and be off as long as the jury duty is verified. Be happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions?
I'll move for approval of the resolution.
I'll second.
Okay, just to kind of expand on this, so to make sure, for clarification, currently the practice is that after an employee serves on jury duty, they have to pay us back the jury pay that they receive.
Yes.
It's a process, it's kind of cumbersome and really probably unnecessary, and so this is doing away with that practice.
That is doing away with it.
Okay. We have a motion by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item C, Weed Department. Number 1, consider approval to waive the purchasing policy for the chemical purchase of glyphosate. Is that what it is? What?
Glyphosate,
Okay, glyphosate, 24D and that one too.
Triclopyr.
Yeah, that one, yeah, both of those
Pasture dry.
chemicals for the remainder of 2022.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Landon, Director of the Weed Department. I'd like to first start by saying this is not just a problem Shawnee County is having. This is a problem that's probably statewide through the nation as well. There's always obstacles and hurdles that we have to cross. I don't know how the other 105 counties are doing, but for us, one of the big hurdles is it has to do with demand and price and the whole 9 yards on these three big chemicals. So today I'm asking for approval to waive the purchasing policy on 2,4-D, glyphosate, and triclopyr. There are three big chemicals that we sell. All the other chemicals we'd still follow the purchasing policy on, but on these three chemicals that I'm asking for, we would still do both phone bids on them. And anything over the limit that I have would be run through audit financed. So, Commissioners, I can't think of any scenario off the top of my head to where I would not get three phone bids. I just can't think of anything. So I will still get three phone bids on these three chemicals before we do anything. It all has to do with demand and price right now. Vendors are holding the proposal that they give you for 24 hours is the length that you're getting to make your decision. And so that's kind of what's got us going right now. So I would be happy to answer any questions you might have.
So, John, these three chemicals, these are the most common ones that we use, right?
These are the most common ones, yes.
And we are statutorily required by the state of Kansas to offer these for sale, correct?
That is correct.
Yeah, so it's something we have to have, even if it's expensive. And, but the problem is they're difficult to get, right?
Very difficult to get, and when you can find them, you have to act fast. So, and currently, Commissioners, we are out of 2,4-D, so
Yeah, Commissioner Cook?
John, though, I'm a little bit perplexed on this position of the state that says we have to offer it for sale even if it's not available to us. We can't produce it, we can't ship it in. The trade routes are what's holding it up. Is the state advocating for the counties by going to the feds or to go to the federal government for assistance? I mean, where do we see this really working up the chain of command?
boy, Commissioner Cook, that's a good question. I wish I had an answer for you on what they're doing state level. My contact, Scott Marsh through KDA, he contacts the Secretary of Ag, and I don't know, what their discussions are. When I brought this up to them early in the year about what happens if we run out of chemical, they first told us that, just tell them you're out. And then a few weeks later, it come down from the Secretary of Ag that you can't tell them we're out. The county's liable for selling chemical.
Now, in speaking with you, you and I have talked about that Shawnee County sells a lot more of these chemicals than some of our surrounding counties.
That's correct. For instance, for us, we sell about 4,000 gallons of 2,4-D and glyphosate. Most other counties are in the 720 gallon range. I mean, our numbers, I believe, are that high simply because the residents of Shawnee County want to treat weeds. And so, I don't think they're misusing it. I don't think they're not measuring it right. I think, when you look at our customer base, I think probably the month of May, we had 300 customers just in the month. And, so our customer base is there every month in the 200 to 300 range. And so I think it's just them wanting to spray weeds.
So is this a part where you would maybe start looking at limiting or rationing some of our supply?
We did limit glyphosate to 10 gallons without my approval. So, if you come in and you needed more, then I would have to visit your place to see that you had enough Johnson grass to do that. So
I think to answer that, maybe it's because we're more of an urban county, and so you have a lot of people buying, rather than, where you might have a number of farmers or ranchers buying. Here you have all these homeowners buying, and they're all buying a gallon or whatever, and I think that drives up how many gallons we end up selling. I have a question. Where are these chemicals made?
So most active ingredients come from China, and they're made here in the United States. So Albaugh has a factory just up in St. Joe. We took a tour of it. It was a great tour, wonderful facilities. You learn a lot when you're there. I mean, they have this big vat of triclopyr, say, and this vat is huge, just huge, and they have 3 lines coming off of it. And out of that same vat, it's 3 different chemical names. Exact same material, just 3 different names. And so that's why we put in there the actual name of 2,4-D, glyphosate, and triclopyr, because triclopyr comes labeled as remedy, triclopyr 4, pasture. I mean, it's crazy with the names on them.
So, John, I know that we do our sprayer rentals and things like that. And I know that at one time, you and I had a conversation that sometimes people return those half full. What are we doing with that? Can we still sell that chemical when it comes back?
Yeah, so depending on the next customer that comes in, they may take it if they're spraying Escort or something, and that's what it is. If not, then it's loaded in our trucks, and we'll disperse it on some property that we have that the county owns, not knowing just exactly what they mixed it at, but try to eliminate some of the weeds that's growing in the broadleaf stuff.
Okay.
So.
Any questions? I'll move for approval.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner May, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Commissioner.
John. Next item, please.
Item D, Public Works, number 1, acknowledge change order number 1, final to contract C 113-2022 with Bettis Asphalt and Construction Company, Inc., reflecting an as-bid versus as-construction quantities, excuse me, on a mill and overlay project southbound South Topeka Boulevard from approximately Airport Drive to Gary Ormsby Drive. This change order results in a project cost decrease of $13,396.60.
Good morning, Commissioners. Kurt Niehaus, Director of Public Works. Our ongoing work on South Topeka Boulevard, this last project is complete. The contractor was out there 3 days. The end result is that the work cost a little more than $276,000. I guess that's the bad news. The good news is it's $13,000 less than the as-let price. So again, these change orders, these final change orders are just a difference in quantities between the as-let and the as-constructed. No change in unit cost. Questions?
No, I would say that's good news. I'll move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item E, Department of Corrections, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-180-2022 with Easy Ice for 4 ice machines to be used in the Adult Detention Center at a monthly cost of $810 to be paid from the detention budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. Based upon an assessment of our ice machine usage and the equipment that we have, the current ice machines that we have date back to 2006. We have repaired these over and over. They maintain our food service, our modules to the inmates, and other issues that we have inside the facility. Basically, we found out that leasing these would be at a much better cost saving. To replace the 4 that we have would be much more expensive than leasing the ones that we have. The company will take care of the replacement. They will take care of sanitation. They'll take care of all the upkeep and things like that. So we found that this is a much better, efficient way to handle these things. This is something that we do use for our accreditation services, things that we do have to have, and I'd stand by any questions that you might have.
Questions for Brian? Yeah, Commissioner Cook.
Brian, you said these went back to 2006. What would have been the cost to replace the machines for Shawnee County?
I don't know. Now that you ask me that, I'm sorry. I've always tried to tell myself I'd never have that question. I do know that the maintenance person today told me that to replace these would be equivalent to probably multi-years of the expense, if that makes sense.
It does.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at $810 a month.
That's for the total of 4, not individually.
Right.
Yes.
And so we're going to be spending $9,000 per year.
Yeah. Yes.
And if an ice machine, I mean, if this is a contract for the 4 machines.
To replace them, I think these ice machines are well into the tens of thousands and not even, maybe even $20,000. So replace would be $80,000. So you're looking at, what's been explained to me is that this would be much cheaper, much more efficient.
How often are they going to be coming out and checking it?
We would require that they meet all of our KDHE regulations, so we have to check temperatures and everything every day, which we would do on site. They would be out monthly to check this, and I would check to see if they need to be out even more.
Okay. But they're going to be responsible for the servicing of
Yes,
them as well?
everything, yes. And if the machine goes down, they'll have one ready to replace that day.
So, are we sure that we need 4?
Yes, we have them on every floor. We have 16 housing units that use these. We have one on each floor so one floor will manage 6 different housing units. They get emptied every day.
Okay.
Because we put ice chests in every module in the facility on the floor. One of this is in the staff area. One of them is in the food service area. The other 2 are on the 2 different floors that will serve the 16 modules.
Okay. Any other questions?
I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Thanks,
you.
Brian. Next item, please.
Item F, Information Technology, number 1, consider approval of a request to dispose of a 2006 Ford E-150 and a 2007 Ford Focus through Purple Wave Auction.
Morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. I do have one requested change. I would like to pull the 2007 Ford Focus off of this. The Health Department has requested they could use that to replace a van they had stolen. Other than that, this is a van we bought back in 2006, and with the leasing of our new vehicles, are not finding a need for it and would like to dispose of it.
Questions for Mark?
Nope, I'll move for approval of the disposal of the 2006 Ford E150.
Okay, I will second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Thanks,
Thank you.
Mark. Next item, please.
Item 5, public comment.
I don't have anybody signed up, but is there anybody from the public wishing to speak today? Seeing none, next item, please.
Item 6, administrative communications.
Any administrative communications?
Good morning, Commissioners. Bill Sutton, Shawnee County Solid Waste. Just like to remind Commissioners and the general public that this Saturday, the 4th of June, will be our Saturday collection event at the Household Hazardous Waste from 9 until 12. This will be our last collection event until August because we skipped the one in July. So come on out, 9 to noon. Address is 131 Northeast 46th Street. And for more information, they can call 286-4381. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners. Angela Lewis with Human Resources. The Insurance Committee ran a benefits guide photo contest again this year. We had 12 winners. Some of these are multiple winners. Miss Elaine Dieters, Hermina Chavez, Gina Schlink, Jess Rakestraw, Nicole Collins, Leah Pine, and Shannon Wonder are this year's photo winners, and we look forward to releasing the benefits guide in October so that you can see their entries. Thank you.
Can't wait.
Courtney House, Director of Public Works. Lo and behold, work on Croco between I-70 and I-470 bridges appears to be starting. So just to let the public know. Thank you.
Great.
Good morning, Commissioners. Brian Cole, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. I have two announcements. One of them very good. During our audit with the National Commission on Correctional Health Care, we had to single out the juvenile detention center. They labeled it as a satellite, so we just had to make sure that they included that in their audit. But we just got our memo yesterday that said congratulations. So the entire department is fully accredited through the National Commission on Correctional Health Care. What that means is we meet and exceed roughly 300 different standards when it comes to the health care, the behavioral health care, food service and emergency when it comes to the Department of Corrections. So that is very good news. The other one, a bit of sadness. Late last night, I was informed that we had an officer by the name of David Butler who passed away. This is an individual who had worked for the Department of Corrections for several years. He loved his job, loved by his staff. We do know that David was dealing with some other health-related issues and things like this. So, you know, I try to remind staff each and every day that, you know, as we go through different things and we talk about raises and we talk about insurance, we talk about things like this. These are the things that really hit home when we see the loss of an employee or a family member or a friend and stuff like that. So, you know, I just wanted to say to, you know, Shawnee County, thank you in David's family who we do know we've reached out. So I just wanted to let everybody know, especially the commissioners and things like that, that we're going to miss this young man and just keep the department and this family in your prayers. So thank you.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you. Our condolences to your work family and to Mr. Butler's family as well.
Good morning, Commissioners. Stephanie Kuhlman, Shawnee County Commission Office. The June County Connection newsletter has been posted to our website. It's very easy to find. Start off at our county homepage at www.snco.us. Up at the top, there are departments drop-down menu, select commission. From the commission homepage, click on the link Newsletter. The rock garden located in Gage Park was completed back in 1932. This photo is early earthwork on the garden pond. You can notice the two mules in the background pulling a slip. This was a very common way of excavating back then. Thomas Doran was a prominent attorney in Topeka and a good friend of EFA Reinisch. Reinisch was a local landscape architect who initially planned the rose garden. Doran financed the rock garden that bears his name, the Doran Rock Garden. Most of the stone walls on the pond have been redone at least once, but the stone bridge is original. Thomas Doran also had a hand in completing the rose garden and the Munn Memorial. Saturday, May 14th, the community made a big splash to raise money for the Special Olympics. The event was held at the Midwest Health Aquatic Center, and the Shawnee County Sheriff's Office were on hand to support the Special Olympians. The Shawnee County Milestones celebrate employees' work anniversaries, and last month, Captain Vest and Sally Illo have 20 years with the county. Corporal Berghart and Todd Adams have 25 years, and Andy Graham at the Health Department has been with Shawnee County for 35 years. Congratulations to everyone, and thank you again for your service to Shawnee County. Some upcoming events in June for Shawnee County. Monday, June 20th, county offices will be closed in observance of Juneteenth. There will not be a commission meeting that day on June 20th. Thursday, June 23rd, a lunch and learn regarding purpose and mindfulness will be held at the Health Department. Remember to RSVP so you can receive your free lunch when you attend. Be sure to check out more stories and videos in the June County Connection. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Stephanie. Anyone else? Commissioner Rippon?
I had a chance to attend the sheriff's office promotion ceremony, and it was a good event. It reminds us of what they will do for us if need be. A lot of these sheriff's deputies are recognized, and other staff for going above and beyond. So it was a good ceremony to attend. And it's like they say that they don't get paid for what they do, they get paid for what they would do. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Commissioner Cook?
I don't have anything to add.
Okay, nothing from me either. So, next item, please.
Item 7, executive session.
We do have a need for executive session today. So I'll make a motion that we go into executive session for a period not to exceed 15 minutes for the following reasons. To discuss employer-employee negotiations, whether or not in consultation with the representative or representatives for the public body or agency, specifically to discuss a contract proposal from the FOP, and for consultation with an attorney for the public body or agency, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship for the same issue. No action is expected following this executive session. So that's my motion.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. So we'll be in executive session for 15 minutes. Let's start at 9:40. All right, we're back from executive session. No action was taken. We are adjourned.
Brian, thanks for your loyalty